Hi students, this is Sheikh Namtullah, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, VFSTR, deemed to be University. Welcome to the course Software Engineering. Today in this session we are going to discuss about Software Development Lifecycle, that is SDLC. So what is the use of SDLC, or why or what is the necessity of SDLC? See, in order to develop a software, we have many methods. So we can develop the software in many approaches. But here, in order to get a quality software, we need to follow SDLC, that is Software Development Lifecycle. So in order to develop a software in a quality manner, we have to follow the phases of SDLC, or we have to follow the process of SDLC. So let us see what exactly SDLC means. So SDLC is a process used by the software industry to design, to develop and to test, to produce the high quality software. So SDLC means Software Development Lifecycle. It is a process which is used by the software industries where we are going to design, develop, test to produce the high quality software. So see here, so SDLC, it is a process where it is going to be used by the software industry, which is used for, it is used for design, develop and to test to produce the high quality software. And next, it is aims to produce high quality software which is going to meet the client's expectations and which is going to complete within the budget, within the cost estimation. And next, it is going to cover entire phases of life cycle, that is entire complete life cycle of software, that is from inception to the end of the software. Here if you see, so it is a complete life cycle of a software where we are going to start from inception to the deployment of the product. So that is SDLC. So SDLC contains, it is going to start from inception to the deployment. For example, if you see the life cycle in the sense it contains from starting to ending stage of the development. So here in this SDLC, it is going to follow all the phases where it contains the complete life cycle of a software right from inception to the deployment. Deployment in the sense delivery of the software. So these are some definitions of software development life cycle. So we'll review once again. So SDLC, which is going to be used by software industries where to develop, to design, to develop and for producing the high quality software. And it is going to SDLC aim or objective is to provide high quality software which is going to meet the client requirements and we are going to complete within the time and within the budget. So that is, and it is going to cover the entire life cycle. SDLC phases covers the entire life cycle of a software development right from inception to the deployment of the software. So it is a process followed by a software to develop a software in a software organization, and it consists of detailed plan. It is going to describe how to develop, how to maintain, how to replace and alter a specific software. So it consists of a detailed plan. So how to develop and maintain, replace and alter the specific software. And the major importance of SDLC is it defines the methodology for improving the quality of a software and cover overall the development process. So the major importance of SDLC is it defines the methodology or approach for the development of quality of software, and also overall development process is going to be involved. So this is importance of SDLC. Simple, in order to develop a quality software we have to follow the SDLC. That is the importance of SDLC. Every software organization is going to follow this SDLC in order to get the quality software, in order to develop the business. And now we will see the phases of SDLC. We will see one by one. So first one is requirements phase, analysis phase, design phase, coding phase, testing phase, and finally deployment and maintenance. So these are the different phases of SDLC. So what are the phases we have? Requirements phase, analysis phase, design, coding, testing, deployment and maintenance. So these are different phases we are going to follow to develop the software by following the SDLC methodology. So for example, he is our client. For example, he is a banker. He is a banker and he is having a bank called ABC, and he is our client. And now what he wants to develop his business. So he wants to develop his business. So develop his customers. In order to do that, what he is actually doing, he wants to make his business into online. So that is nothing but he wants to develop the net banking. So he wants to give customers net banking facility. So there is a question how to develop this net banking facility. So what he will do, he will go and meets to the CEO of the company. Okay, so CEO of the company, and what he will do, he is going to meet the CEO of the company and he will discuss whatever the requirements he have, what is the problem he is facing in the banking. So everything will be discussed with the CEO, and then if it is possible to implement all the requirements of the client, and they both will have a discussions about financially and everything requirements, and then they are going to sign the project. They are going to sign the project, which is nothing but agreement of the software. In that agreement, what are the requirements we are going to complete, and under what will be the budget of that project, everything we are going to sign here. So that is signing of project. So in this manner, the software is going to start. And now we will see SDLC phases one by one. So first we will see the requirements phase. So in this session, I want to explain you in all the phases in three parts, like roles, task, and outcomes. Roles means who are the persons going to involve in all the phases, and task, what they are actually going to do, and then outcome. So what will be the outcome of each and every phase. So these things we are going to discuss. So let's see one by one. So first, roles and task, and then outcome. Roles in the sense, who are the persons in a software company, who are the persons going to involve. So that we are going to discuss. And task, so what is the work of that particular roles, and outcome of this phase. So these things we are going to see in every phase. So first we will see about the requirements. So in the requirements phase, we will be having a person called business analyst. Okay, so business analyst will be there. Soon here, after signing the project, this business analyst will go to the client's environment. So what he will do, he will go to the client's environment, he will do the research on the requirements. Whatever the requirements are there, he is going to do the requirements, and he is going to meet the client, and he is going to discuss. So whichever is possible or not, whatever the requirements are there, whether we can implement practically or not. So all these things we are going to discuss here. So that is the task of business analyst. So see here, business analyst, he will go to the client's environment and he will do the research about the requirements, and he is going to prepare a document. So that document name is called BRS, that is business requirement specification, or URS, that is user requirement specification, or client requirement specification, that is CRS, or customer requirement specification, or business design document, that is BDD. So this is the requirements phase. So we will review again. So in this phase, in the requirements phase, business analyst will be there. So this business analyst, what he will do, he will go to the client's environment and he will do the research. Even though whenever the client meets to the CEO of the company, whether if he has given the requirements also, this business analyst, his team will go to the client's environment. So in that client's environment, they are going to discuss about the requirements. For example, if we are developing a software for college, if that college is having only BTech and MTech and Polytechnic, in future they may get medical. So like that, whatever the additional requirements are there, everything is going to be discussed by this business analyst to the client, and he is going to do a research on the requirements. So after doing the research, he is going to prepare one document. So that document name is called BRS. The document name is called BRS, that is Business Requirement Specification. So we will be having different terminologies here. So different companies uses different terminologies, but the standard one is BRS, that is Business Requirement Specification, or else you can call it as a User Requirement Specification or Client Requirement Specification or Business Design Document. So these are the outcomes of requirements phase. So that is about requirements phase. So that is about the requirements phase. Now we will see diagrammatically how this business analyst what he is going to do. So here is a business analyst. Okay, here is a business analyst. So what he will do, he will go to the client's environment. So he is going to the client's environment. So this is the client's place. So here after going there, what he will do, he is going to do a research. He is going to do the research on the requirements, and then he is going to prepare a document. He is going to prepare a document. So that document name is called BRS. That is BRS, that is Business Requirement Specification or Client Requirement Specification or User Requirement Specification or Business Design Document. So this is the diagrammatic representation of requirements phase. Now we will see the next phase, that is analysis phase. So in the analysis phase, in this phase also we are going to see we are going to divide into three parts like roles, task and outcome. So in this one, senior analyst will be there, project manager will be there, team leaders will be there. Every person, whoever the person who is going to involve in development of software, all the persons are going to be involved in this analysis phase. So now what is the task? So this phase is divided into three parts like feasible study, technology, tentative planning. So what is feasible study? So feasible study is nothing but study of the project. So all these persons, project manager, senior analyst, team leaders, developers and test engineers, all these persons are going to study about the project. They are going to study about the project. So that is called feasible study. So developers will study entire project in order to understand the requirements of the client for developing a software. And test engineers also going to study the project to prepare the test cases in order to test the software whether that software meets the client requirements or not. So everyone is going to study about the project, that is called feasible study. Next one is technology. So here in this technology phase, we are going to decide what kind of technology we are going to use to develop the software like .NET, Java or PHP. So whatever the technology based on the client requirements and based on the client's budget, we are going to decide on which technology we are going to use or we are going to develop the software, that is. And next one is tentative planning. So in this tentative planning, it is a temporary plan where we are going to decide what is the time for completion of the project, that is tentative plan. And apart from this, in this tentative plan, we are also having resources, how many number of systems we need, all these things also we are going to decide, that is tentative planning. And the outcome of this phase is SRS, that is Software Requirement Specification. So in that software requirement specification document, everything is going to be involved. Like in that SRS document, everything about the project is going to be there. So what are the client requirements are there, and what is the functional requirements, what are the non-functional requirements, and what is the hardware requirement, what is the software requirement, what will be the interface between the front end and back end. So all these things will be involved in this SRS, that is called Software Requirement Specification. That is about analysis phase. So in this analysis phase, what we are going to do, so here whoever the persons involved in development of project, everyone is going to be involved in this phase. like senior analyst, project manager, team leaders, project managers, developers and testing units. And in this, what they are going to do? So in this analysis phase, we are dividing into three parts like feasible study. First one is feasible study, next one is technology, and next one is tentative planning. So these are the three phases. What is the first phase? Feasible study. So in the feasible study, all the members are going to study about the project in order to understand what are the requirements of the client. Next, technology. So in the technology, what kind of technology we are going to use for developing that particular software, so that we are going to decide. And next, tentative planning. We are going to make a temporary plan. Here we are going to make a temporary plan in order to estimate the time. So how much time is required for developing this software. So that we are going to decide in the outcome. So that we are going to decide in the tentative planning. And the outcome of this phase is SRS, that is software requirement specification. And the outcome of this phase is SRS, that is software requirement specification. So in that document, entire the project related thing will be there. So in the name itself telling software requirement specification. So whatever the requirements for developing of software, so that is going to be specified in a document. So if you see here, that is SRS, software requirement specification. So whatever the requirements we need for developing of a software, we are going to specify in a document. So that document we are calling it as a SRS, that is software requirement specification. And now we will see the next phase, that is design phase. Okay. So in the design phase, we will be having two persons majorly. First one is chief architect, another one is technical members. Chief architect and technical members. So what actually they are going to do? So the task is divided into two parts here. One is HLD, another one is LLD. HLD means high level design document, LLD means low level design document. So in the HLD, the chief architect is going to prepare the HLD. So here the chief architect is going to prepare the HLD. So what HLD contains? So if you take, we'll take one example of development of Gmail application. Okay, for example, we are developing an application called Gmail. So in the Gmail, what will be the modules? For example, take first one, sign in page. Sign in page is one module. Next one, inbox page. Inbox page is another module. Next one, outbox. Outbox is another module. Next one, sent. Sent mail. So sent is also another module. So these are all modules. And in this HLD, the chief architect, how he is going to prepare means, he is going to prepare how many number of total modules are there, what will be the data flow, how the data is flowing from one module to another module. So what are the major modules, what are the minor modules, so from which module the data is going to flow, what will be the first module, second module, and in short we can say that HLD is nothing but it's a architecture. It's a architecture of the project. And next, LLD. This LLD is going to prepare that by the technical members. So this LLD is going to prepare by the technical members. What actually they are going to prepare? So they are going to prepare in detail of each and every module. They are going to prepare in detail of each and every module. For example, if you take sign in. Sign in is a module. Sign in is one module. So here, how will be the sign in page? So in this one, username will be there, password will be there, sign in and cancel buttons will be there. Okay. So here for this sign in module, the technical members are going to prepare like what is the module name, that is sign in, and what are the objects present in that one, like username, password, sign in button, cancel button. And username, what will be the conditions? Password, what will be the conditions? Password, for example, if password contains only alphanumeric, username contains only 10 to 20 characters. So like that, in detail of everything is going to be mentioned by the technical members. So each and every module, whatever the modules we have, each and every module is going to be explained in detail in the document called LLD. That is called as low level design document. So that is about LLD. And the outcome of this phase is technical design document, that is TDD. We used to call TDD, that is technical design document. That is about the design phase. Okay. So we will review again a design phase. So in this design phase, we will be having chief architect and technical members. So what these people are going to do? So here the design phase is divided into two parts again, like HLD and LLD. HLD means high level design document, LLD means low level design document. So what the chief architect is going to do? So the chief architect, he is going to prepare the HLD document, and technical members are going to prepare LLD, that is low level design document. So what this HLD contains? So HLD means it is going to tell us about the architecture of the software. That means how many number of modules are there, what will be the data flow, so what is the major modules, what are the minor modules, how the data is flowing from one module to another module, and what will be the integration between the one module to another module. So entire architecture of the project is going to be prepared by the HLD, prepared by the chief architect, that is known as HLD. And next one, low level design document. So in the low level design document, the technical members are going to prepare low level design document. So in the low level design document, it is going to contain in detail of each and every module, that is LLD. And the outcome of this phase is technical design document, that is TDD. And we will take another example here. If you take we will take a website called Amazon.in, shopping website Amazon.in. So in the Amazon.in, what will be the modules here? For example, take first one, home page. First one is home page. And next one, products. Next one, cart, shopping cart. And next one is payments page. Payments. So these are for all modules in the Amazon.in. So in this phase, what actually we are doing is, so this chief architect is going to prepare HLD. So in this HLD, what it contains means, it contains the entire architecture of Amazon.in and what are the modules present. So first module is home page, next second module is products, and next module is shopping cart, and then finally payments. So these are the four modules, and how the data is flowing from one module to another module, what will be the interface between them. So these things will be present in the HLD, that is called high level design document. And next, low level design document. So in the low level design document, as I said, it contains in detail of each and every module. So in detail, first you will take home page. So in the home page, so the home page contains, so first there will be a sign in page, sign in option, and next it will show different categories of products, and here you will find some offers and exclusive offers. So like that, in this page, everything, each and every module, so each and every object, everything is going to be present. And if you see the sign in, so in the sign in we will be having username, password. So like that you will find, for example, username. So for username, what will be the condition? For example, if username, if you take, so only 10 to 20 characters. If you take password, only alphanumeric will accept. So like that, each and every object is going to be mentioned in the low level design document, which is going to be prepared by the technical members. And the outcome of this phase is TDD, that is technical design document. So that is about design phase. And next we are going to see the coding phase. So in the coding phase, we will be having developers or programmers. So what they are going to do here? So in the previous session, previous phases like design phase, we have the outcome of technical design document. So based on the technical design document, here the developers or programmers are going to prepare the source code, that is called software source code document they are going to prepare. That is also called as pseudocode, or technically it is called as build. That is called as build. Build means the software which is not tested or the software which is ready for testing. That is called as build. So here if you see, based on technical design document, the developers are going to develop the coding as per the design document. So as per the design document, the developers are going to prepare the coding, and the outcome of this phase is nothing but SCD, that is called source code document. Here the TDD, technical design document, is going to prepare based on the user requirements. Based on the user requirements. And now the developers, based on this technical design document, they are going to prepare a coding that is called SCD, that is source code document. That is about coding phase. And next one is testing phase. So in this testing phase, we will be having test engineers or testers. So what actually they are going to do? So these test engineers, what they are actually going to do means, so here, so up to the coding phase, they are going to prepare a test cases. Based on the requirements of the client, they are going to prepare test cases. As I said earlier, in the analysis phase, the test engineers involved in the feasible study, and they are going to study about the project in order to understand the requirements of the client. So after understanding the requirements of the client, they are going to prepare test scenarios and test cases. Test scenarios in the sense, it is going to explain about what is the present module, what is a particular module, so that is about test scenario. And test cases is a document which tells us how to test the software. We will see the example, then you can understand. So here we will be having test engineers or testers. So what they are going to do? So the test engineers, based on the requirements of the client, they are going to prepare the test scenarios and test cases. They are going to prepare the test scenarios and test cases. So what is test scenario? For example, if you take mobile, so in the mobile we will be having activities. We can do the activities like incoming call, outgoing call, and next messaging. So these are the activities we can do in the mobile. So test scenario, first the test engineers are going to prepare the test scenario. So in the test scenario we are going to write, first scenario is make a call, making a call. This is one scenario. Next, second one, receiving a call. So these are like test scenarios. Next one, text a message. This is a test scenario for the mobile. Now test cases. Test cases means for each individual scenario we are going to prepare conditions. What are the conditions we require for making the test scenario, for execution of that particular test scenario? For example, making a call. So for making a call, what are the things we need? We need to have a mobile phone battery charging and balance. So when you have that, we have to press the phone number and then ring button. So then only we are going to make the call. So that we are going to represent in the test cases. That is the difference between test scenario and test case. If you take another example, so now we will take another example. For example, if you take ATM test cases. ATM. So for ATM, what will be the test scenarios? So first we will see the test scenarios. So in the test scenarios, first one is withdraw of amount, next one pin change, and next one deposit, next one balance checking. Balance checking. These are the test scenarios. Now we will see test cases. We will see the test cases. So first we will see the test case for withdrawing of amount. So in order to withdraw the amount, first what are the steps we have to perform? So first we have to perform, first one, we have to insert the card, and next one, we have to select the language, next we have to give the amount, and next we have to enter our PIN, and next we have to confirm. So these are the steps which we are going to follow for execution of first scenario. So that is test case. So test case tells us the entire thing about the document. We will see one example in the next session where entire how to prepare the test cases and how to execute the test cases you are going to see. See, for example, test cases will have a template, a standard template will be there where it will contain test case ID, test case description, preconditions, test data, and then expected output, actual output, and final output. So this is the template for preparing of test cases. So that is, these all things are going to be prepared by the test engineers. So that is test scenarios and test cases. And next, after the completion of source code document, the build is going to be released. Here, the build is going to be released. So build is a software which is not tested, or it is a software which is ready for testing. And next, soon after releasing the build, the test engineers are going to execute the build, execute the test cases on the build. That means they are going to test the software, and if they find any errors, so they are going to report that errors and they are going to send back to the developers team. And again the developers team fix it and again send back to the testing department. And the testing department again it do the retesting, and after completion of retesting, if they have not found any error, then they are going to declare it as a quality software. They are going to declare it as a quality software. Or else if they find any errors, again they will going to send to the development team until this process will be happen, until we get the quality software. And the outcome of this phase is also a quality software. The outcome of this phase is quality software. Okay, so that is about testing. So in this testing phase, the test engineers are going to prepare test cases and test scenarios. So after releasing of the build, the test engineers are going to execute the test cases, and if they find any errors, they are going to send back to the developers team, and the developers team are going to fix that error. If they are not able to find any errors, they are going to declare that it as a error free or software quality. It is a quality software. If they find any errors, again they will send back to the developers team. So the outcome of this phase is nothing but quality software. That is about testing phase. And the last phase is deployment and maintenance phase. So in the deployment phase, deployment engineer will be there, senior test engineer will be there, and system engineer will be there. So these are the persons involved in the deployment stage. Next, what actually they are going to do. So the deployment engineer, he is going to install the software in front of the client, and in front of the client he is going to explain what will be the process for installation and how that software is going to work, how it is going to interact with the database, what will be the interface between front end and back end. So all these things will be done by the deployment engineer. So what he is going to do, he is going to install the software and he is going to show the client about the working application of the software, about the working, how it is going to work. So next one, test lead will be there. So the test lead or senior test engineer, so he is going to test the software again. So he is going to test the software again in front of the client, and he will show the functionalities whatever the functionalities are there up to his requirements, everything, whether they are working properly or not, that will be checked by the senior test engineer, and then system engineer will be there. Okay, and here maintenance phase. This is about deployment phase. Now comes to maintenance phase. So in the maintenance phase, depending upon the usage of the software, so whether that software is used for regularly or monthly, depends upon that client requirements, we are going to maintain the software and we are going to take backup of the software. And the maintenance engineer, what he will do, he is going to take care of software, that the software should not struck and should not crash. Everything will be maintained. And here another case is there, whenever we add a new modules or new features to the application, the system engineer has to check whether the added modules are going to affect the previous modules or not. So that also we have to check. For example, if we have 3 modules already, if we have 3 modules like A, B and C, now what we are going to do, we are going to add a new feature or new module to the application. So now in the maintenance phase, we have to check by adding of this new module, that is D module, whether the previous modules like A, B, C, are they affecting or they have any side effects. So these things we have to check. So that will be done in the maintenance phase. That is about deployment and maintenance phase. And the outcome of this phase is the company will have a good business. So company will have a good business because as we are following these phases of SDLC for developing a software. So obviously we will get the quality in a software. So whenever we get a quality software, we will get the good business. So that is the outcome of this phase. Okay. So I hope you understood this SDLC, that is software development life cycle. If you have any doubts, you can contact me. Thank you for watching. Happy learning.